Well, good morning, everybody. Didn't start off with a beautiful water feature, but there is water everywhere. Had so much rain. And I've got a great campsite right here. The fella I was camping with, we only live probably 25 miles apart. Once you start talking, you start learning more about people. And he's just doing some section hiking, but literally we're 20 miles apart when we go back home. Where we camped is about 1/10 of a mile up the hill, and we both targeted a campsite, and we assumed that was it, but actually this is the campsite we were targeting. Lots of flat spaces to camp. We were struggling up there to find a place, but it actually worked out fine for both of us, I believe. And so no regrets. So today's going to be a bit of a long day. It's going to be 18.7 miles into Hamburg, Pennsylvania. So we've got some work to do, there's no doubt about it. And got a little bit of a climb here, not a huge climb, probably 500 or 600 feet, and then we start bumping across the top of a ridge again. So, and then we have a really steep, deep decline down into Port Clinton, Pennsylvania. And then Port Clinton's it's about a mile from Hamburg. So we'll go through Port Clinton and then on into Hamburg. So that's the plan for today. We're getting a little earlier start. It's now 6:30, which was my plan. And hopefully we can press on without any major stress of knowing that we got to get there before dinner or whatever, right? So we got plenty of time to get it done today. So let's get started. Hope everybody has a wonderful day, and we'll see you down trail. Found a historical marker here. It says 1755. It says this is the site of Fort Reitrich Snyder, a lookout post to warn of the approach of enemies during the French and Indian War. So, yeah, that goes back a ways, doesn't it? So I've reached a bit of an intersection here. There's a blue blaze trail going that way. Of course, we're going to go to a white blaze trail. So I've just about reached the spot that I was shooting for last night. And I'm glad I didn't push on in hindsight. The trails was, as you guys saw, very flooded in some spots, almost impassable, where you just have to get off and take your chances walking through the underbrush of the sides, just to be able to get through. So it was fairly rough trail, I'd say. It's cleared up a bit now, and the trails, at least in this spot, it's become fairly cruisy, so we can probably make some pace. So where are we? I'm left with about I'd say 15 miles to make it on into Port Clinton and Hamburg, Pennsylvania. So, and it's a little after 8. So at this point yesterday, I was just getting started, so it feels good to know that I got a good jump on the day. So we're making good progress, I think. Not real blazing fast, but we're moving pretty good. All right, hope everybody's having a great day, and we will catch up with you down the trail. A little bit of a dirt road crossing. Getting back in the woods. I just checked the miles. We've got, I'd say, less than 3 miles, slightly less than 3 miles into Port Clinton. And from there, there's another mile or so to Hamburg. So, it's been a long one, folks. Just skipping around rocks and stuff. Trail's pretty good right now. It's just the miles itself, I think, more than anything, just kind of wears on you a bit. So, overall, the day's been good. It's been a lot of this, where just trail walking and walk through the woods, and not a lot to see. So I haven't done a tremendous amount of video, that's for sure. At this stage of the game, we should have more. I think there is a view coming up. It's called Auburn Lookout. And I think it's going to be within the next mile or so. So that should provide a little bit of a view and a little bit of break-in action. So that'd be great. So we'll catch up with you when we get to that viewpoint. All right. What would a day be without a rock scramble? Anyway. All right, clearing up a little bit now. I think we're still about 2/10 from that viewpoint, that lookout, Auburn Lookout. So should be there in just a minute. Some sort of weird totem out here in the middle of the woods. You see kind of crazy stuff people carry out, and nobody ever wants to do the work to carry it out, so it sits there forever. So here's our view. There's a long-range lookout view over the trees. There you go. All in all, not a bad view. I can definitely say it's the best of the day because we haven't had any others. All right, we're gonna crank it up and head into Port Clinton. On the map, it appears that there's like just a really sharp decline or descent down into Port Clinton. It's almost like, I don't even know how that would be possible without a ladder, but we'll see how it works. I'm curious about it. We'll learn soon enough. Okay, folks, we've started that descent into Port Clinton. I'm for sure of that because I'm only 6/10 of a mile from the train station. So if it's going to drop off quick, it needs to get started because this is a rather gradual decline or descent. Not too bad. Actually, it's just exactly the grade that allows you to make some speed. But we'll see. We could get out here to the edge and it just drop right down in terms of climbing rocks down the side of the mountain. I don't know. Maybe I just read the map wrong and it was an operator error. There's a good opportunity for that. We'll see. All right, that's where we came from. And that's where we're going. That's level. That's where we're going. So it definitely is very, 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 very steep. My toes are right to the slammed into the end of the shoe for sure. So I can see the roads and stuff down there below me. I can hear traffic, so we're real close. So we'll catch up as soon as we get down to the bottom of this hill. All right, folks. We just came down off that mountain over there, across the railroad track. I ran into these two guys who are hiking as well. And yeah, we're starting to get our very first view of Port Clinton, Pennsylvania, United States of America. Right here. I think those guys have found a place to stay here in Port Clinton. I didn't know that there really was that many choices. I told them, of course, I'm going to go into Hamburg. So the trail doesn't go through Hamburg specifically, kind of bypasses Hamburg. But Hamburg's more of a modern town with, it's got a Walmart and a Cabela's, and of course I'm staying at the Microtel Hotel, which I believe is the only hotel over there. But everything's newer, if you will. Lots of restaurants and things like that. So I think most hikers prefer to go over there. It's a couple miles off the beaten path. And it requires, you know, you're either going to walk a couple miles, you're going to get a Uber or Lyft or whatever over there. And then, of course, you got to come back to get back on trail. But most would agree that it's worth it because there's more to do and more choices for food and things like that. So that's going to be our plan. I'm going to go get up here on the main street and probably contact the Uber and see what it's going to take to get me over to the hotel. All right. Hope everybody's having a good day. We'll catch up with you when I get to the hotel. All right, everybody. I was able to catch a ride. I tried Uber to get me out of Port Clinton over to Hamburg, but there was no Ubers available, unfortunately. I have to figure that out tomorrow as I try to get back. But I was able to hitch a ride and get in here, and just went ahead and checked in. Ordered pizza, took a shower. Now I'm washing clothes, you know, the routine. Yep. So overall a good day today. We hiked 18 miles, call it. And lots of rocks, normal stuff. It's Pennsylvania. But overall, pretty decent day. So hope everybody else had a really good day too, and we will see what tomorrow brings. Have a great one. Talk to you later.